Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All praises are due to Allah, and may Allah's peace and blessing be upon His Prophet Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to lesson 6 in the book My Etiquette and Manners. Inshallah ta'ala, in today's class, we'll start with the second unit of the book, which is relevant to manners. We all do know the importance of manners in the life of a Muslim. In fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised abundantly those who hold great manners. And He before that praised the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, for being upon a great manner. He said, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. Indeed, you are upon great manner. So we are required as Muslims to follow the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when it comes to manners. So in this book, in this unit, the author went on and he mentioned some of the Islamic manners which we are required also to hold and maintain as Muslims. So the first manner mentioned here in the book is truthfulness. And Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was very famous for this character. In fact, he was titled by the pagans of Mecca, while them, or even before declaring prophethood, that he was titled by them the truthful one. And in fact, this specific characteristic, when held by the Muslims in their conducts and dealings with others, was a factor in attracting so many people to Islam. So truthfulness, it is required by Muslims to practice. In fact, if they behave against such manner, they sin before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they may be punished for not holding truthfulness or lying. Allah the Exalted said, O you who have believed, fear Allah and be with those who are truthful. So He commanded us to maintain this noble manner. And the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that truth leads to pity, and pity leads to paradise. And a man persists in speaking the truth till he is recorded with Allah as a truthful man. So this tells us that when you continuously maintain such manner and you apply it with everyone and everything around you, such behavior leads you to a greater position before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And such practice will definitely lead to paradise. And on the contrary, lying leads to man persists in lying leads to transgression, and transgression leads to the hellfire. A man continues to speak falsehood till is recorded with Allah as a great liar. And this is something when we practice the opposite, lying. So when someone continuously lies and always displays such characteristic when it comes in his conducts with others, such behavior will certainly lead him to be titled as a liar. Even in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is deemed to be a liar. So there is a abominable behavior to lie and not maintain truthfulness with everything around us. And in fact, among the, like I said earlier, the characteristics held by him, peace be upon him, was truthful even before he became a prophet. In fact, when revelation first came to him through the angel Jibreel, when he was in the cave of Hira, and he was terrified by seeing Jibreel in that cave in the night. And he went to his wife, speaking to her and telling her what he saw and how much he was scared. Among the things that she told him, that by Allah, Allah will not turn you down, for you are truthful in what you are saying. So such issue will always lead people to goodness. When you are truthful with others, others enjoy such behavior. And you are in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, guided and protected. And in fact, we have a hadith that tells us that even when it comes to monetary transaction, if we are always truthful and we show in the products or items that we are selling, if there are any defects or flaws, and we speak the truth, Allah blesses such transaction. If a person does not show the flaw or defects in the product that he's selling, and he does not display truthfulness, and he lies or deceives, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes the blessing from such practice. So again, if you want to have Allah's blessing shading your life, maintain this great noble manner, which is truthfulness with everything around you. And of course, the greatest of all truthfulness is to be truthful with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah the Exalted knows what the heart conceals, knows what goes in your mind. Hence, you cannot deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a deceitful manner, where you try to show before people that you are righteous, pious, while deep inside you are just faking it. This is why we need to be truly truthful with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in everything that we do. And if we are going to be truthful with people, we need to be even more truthful with Allah Azza wa Jal, the Exalted He is. In fact, lacking the characteristics of truthfulness will classify a person of holding a characteristic which is held by the hypocrites. Like he said, peace be upon him, that whosoever possesses these four characteristics is a pure hypocrite. And anyone who possesses one of them possesses a characteristic of a hypocrisy till he gives it up. These are when he is entrusted with something, he proves dishonest. So if someone trusts him with something to prove to be dishonest, this is one characteristic held by a hypocrite. The second one is when he speaks, he tells a lie. So this is against truthfulness. And this is one of the characteristics of a hypocrite. Thirdly, when he makes a covenant, he proves treacherous. And when he quarrels, he behaves in very imprudent, evil, insulting manner. And this hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. So to free ourselves from holding a characteristic of a hypocrite, we need to always be truthful. Not being truthful will classify us as a person who is holding a characteristic of a hypocrite. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who are truthful and meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while having a record full of good deeds because of this noble, great manner. So let us move to the second manner mentioned in the book, which is trust. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised those who are trustworthy. Allah said, exalted He is, and those who are to their trusts and promise attentive. And then He listed other good characteristics, and He mentioned the reward for such characteristic. He said they will be in gardens honored. So again, among the noble manners required from us as Muslims is to be trustworthy. And in fact, such manner, when practiced by Muslims, was a factor in attracting people to Islam. In fact, some of the merchants from the Yemen area who migrated to Indonesia, and they were doing trade and business with the locals of Indonesia. Islam, in fact, were introduced to Indonesia through the behavior and the practices of these businessmen who were holding the trust characteristic in their dealings with the locals there in Indonesia. So this manner attracted the Indonesians to accept Islam. This is why now we have an entire country among the most populous in Muslims were attracted to Islam without any army having to move to Indonesia, just because of the behavior of the merchants who came to their area. They were attracted to Islam. So again, to maintain such a noble manner is required from us as Muslims. The Prophet, peace be upon him, mentioned a nice story about how the trust leads always to goodness, leads always to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helping you and shedding his blessing upon you. So he mentioned the story of people before him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, an Israeli men who asked another person to lend him 1,000 dinar. The lender said to the one asking for the loan, do you have a witness? The man said to him, Allah is sufficient as a witness. Then the lender said, do you have a surety? He said, Allah is sufficient as a surety. Because of this statement, that man went on and lent the one asking for the loan 1,000 dinar. And the deal was that the man will travel, and when time of repaying him is due, he will travel back to him and pay him the 1,000 dinar. But that man, when he traveled overseas, and when the repayment time was due, he went on to the shore to try to find a ship to take him to the other side of the sea in order to repay the lender. And he could not find any ship. So when it was due time to repay the man, what exactly he did was, he went and he found a piece of wood. He carved that piece of wood, placed the 1,000 dinar inside it, and wrote a letter, and he locked that log of wood. And he placed it in the sea and wait until it disappeared. And he said, oh Allah, that man entrusted me and lent me 1,000 dinar, and I failed to find a vessel or a ship to go and pay him back. Oh Allah, deliver this on my behalf. And he left. And he did not just sit like that, but he kept the next day and the day after coming back and forth to the shore to try to find a ship. Later on, the man on the other side, the lender, one day on the day of repaying, he went to the shore to see if there is a ship coming with that man on it, and he could not find anything, but he found a piece of wood floating on the seaside. So he took that piece of wood to his house in order to use it to put it on fire and get some cook on it, or use it in a way. And when he went on, he was able to break that piece of wood and find that there was inside it 1,000 dinar with a letter written by that man. So later on, a few days later, that man was able to find the ship, and he traveled all the way to him with 1,000 dinar in his hand to repay him. I said here, sorry for arriving so late because I couldn't find any ship to take me to your side. So the lender asked him, did you send money? He said, I told you I couldn't find any ship to get to you. He said, well, I have received the money in a piece of wood, and your letter was received. Go in peace, for you already have delivered, or Allah have delivered on your behalf, the money which you have borrowed from me. So this tells you, subhanahu wa ta'ala, of how trustful was the one borrowing, and being so caring in making sure the money is delivered, even when he runs short in traveling to the other side and paying him hand to hand. He still wanted to look good in the sight of that man who entrusted him without witnesses, without any surety. and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of his sincerity, have delivered on his behalf. And this hadith is in Al-Bukhari. Another nice story narrated by the Prophet, peace be upon him, that one time a man sold a land to another. And the one who bought the land, later on, when he was digging in that land, he found a treasure. And he took that treasure and he went on and gave it to the one who sold him the land. He said, "This is, I found in your land, it's yours." The one who sold the land said, "No, it's not my land anymore, and whatever is inside the land, now it's yours." So they went into dispute who deserves to take the money. Imagine the one who found the money after he bought the land is saying to the seller, "You take it." And the seller is telling him, "No, you take it." So when they want to someone to be a judge between them, he asked them, "Do you have children?" The first one, he said, "I have a boy." The other said, "I have a girl." He said, "Marry the boy to the girl and spend the money upon them. Whatever is left, give it in charity." So imagine the level of trust that these people are holding to tell you that if we practice Islam correctly, people will live in a such level of enjoying being around others, caring for others, maintaining the rights of others, and not in a one way or another try to deceive or behave in a way to take what's not their right to have. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us to maintain trust in whatever we do. And we need to understand that trust is not limited to money. Trust is in everything that we do in our life. In fact, the greatest of all trust is to fulfill Allah's rights towards us, to fulfill Allah's rights in our belief toward Him, in our ibadah, worship to Him, in our manners and behaviors with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the others. Also, everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had bestowed upon us, was given to us from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is a trust. We need to hold it and use it in a correct manner. So our sight, which is given to us by Allah, is a trust. So we need to use this sight in a way in which we do not collect sins. So we look to what is permissible and we avoid looking to what is not permissible for us to look at. Allah have given us the hearing, which is a trust from Him to us. So we should exploit this favor bestowed upon us, and we listen only to whatever is permissible. We do not listen to haram, backbiting, music, or anything which we are required to abstain from listening to. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had entrusted us with the tongue that He has given us. So we should speak always what's right and what's correct. We should not speak in a manner which is against the guidance and teaching for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we do not lie, we do not backbite, we do not use our tongues in a way to deceive people and collect money or rights of others in an unlawful manner. So again, we should always use whatever Allah entrusted us with in a way that brings us closer to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we refrain from any obscenities or slandering or backbiting. Also, the spouse, the children which we have, also Allah entrusted us by we maintaining their due rights. We provide for them. We make sure that they are secured and safe and give them their due rights. We raise our children in a way that will make them dutiful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and pious people in every mean that we can. Also, we make sure that our wives are always protected, well provided, and maintaining the good manners, the ibadah required from them, the belief required from them in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the same time, the woman should also care of her children and her husband in a way which is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because this is a trust given to each one of us. Also, trust is also available at the workplace. So whatever our employer entrusted us with, we should fulfill these duties in a rightful manner, and we should not try to behave in a manner where we are not performing our duties in the agreed upon manner. This is a trust in which we need to do our duties and perfect performing them. Also, another way of holding trust is if somebody entrusted you with a secret, you should not go out and spread that secret. Why? Because you are entrusted with the secret said to you. So keep it for yourself, and this is an amana, a trust given to you or said to you by him. Another issue, like mentioned in the hadith here, is the issue of money. If somebody entrusted you with his wealth, given you some money to keep it for him, then this is a trust. You cannot betray him by using that money in any way. We may see some practices. If someone entrusts someone with some money and he keeps it with him as a surety, he may use it in a way and then claiming, when that person is going to ask it, I shall provide for him. No, you cannot use it whatsoever. This is a trust. You have no right to use it in any way. If it is a trust, keep it as is without holding a penny out of it. So again, do not betray your trust. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the exalted, warned greatly against betrayal. He said, "O you who believed, do not betray Allah and Messenger, or betray your trust while you know," meaning the consequence. So this is a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like I mentioned in the previous hadith, that among the characteristic of the hypocrite is not holding the trust or betraying the trust. So again, this is among the characteristics of a hypocrite. We Muslims should avoid holding any characteristic which will classify us as the disbelievers or those who are hypocrites. So by this, inshallah ta'ala, we come to the end of this class. Inshallah ta'ala, coming class will go over more manners which are required from us to hold as Muslims. Barakallahu fikum wa jazakumullahu khaira. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.